All right, so let's talk about the SystemLink CLI. So a quick bit of history. I started working on the SystemLink CLI last year after recognizing the gap we had between some capabilities of new backend services and what was configurable within the web UI. So for example, we can define test plan templates, which are used to pre-fill test plans when you're creating them. But the only way to make those templates is to use the web service directly. And so there are a few ways to fill this gap, but I appreciate a well-crafted CLI. So set about working on creating that missing interface. So fast forward to earlier this year, we have a CLI that provides an interface for all of these integration points that aren't available in the web UI, including the ability to create and manage custom fields, to create or install many resources at a time for demos or for training exercises, for creating service accounts, and also for things like publishing Jupyter notebooks or custom web applications, directly from your code editor into SystemLink. But it became clear that if all of these services were available, if all SystemLink services were available in the CLI, we could leverage the CLI with coding agents like Claude Code or GitHub Copilot. So added the remaining SystemLink services to the CLI, added some skills to help the coding agent understand how to use the CLI effectively, and turned it into a powerful tool for your workflow. So let's take a closer look at the CLI, how to install it, how to use it, and get started with it. So the first thing we're going to do is go to cli.systemlink.dev and look at the instructions for installing the CLI. So pipex install systemlink CLI, and that's going to pretty quickly grab the CLI from the PyPy repository and install it here. Then we're going to open up a new terminal and type in SLCLI and see what we have. So we type SLCLI and we see a list of all the available CLI commands. And let's start with some of the configure commands that allow us to establish a connection to an existing SystemLink server. So SLCLI login brings up an interactive prompt for establishing a configuration. So we'll call this one user group. Here it's asking for the API route to your SystemLink server. It's the one your Swagger docs are hosted on. Here I have an existing configuration already, so I'm just going to use a fake one here. It'll fail on us. We need to put our SystemLink API key in here. We get that from the account menu, the user menu in SystemLink, account, and then in an API key tab, you can generate up to 3 API keys. And that's the essential credential for connecting the SystemLink CLI to your SystemLink server. And then it asks for the web URL, the one you normally navigate to, systemlink.com. Here we'll check for connectivity. So in this case, the API key or the URL, these things are incorrect, and so it's failing, trying to fail fast. In my case, I'm going to use a previously configured configuration, and to see kind of what's available there, we have the SystemLink config command. And so here we can manage a list of configurations as well as kind of add, delete those available options. And I have one config called demo Fred. So I'm going to just say use demo Fred. And now I've switched my configuration to that profile. And then to confirm that everything is working correctly, I can use the SLCLI info command. This will take a moment because we actually check a bunch of services and make sure that we can connect to them and kind of understand what type of SystemLink server we're connected to. And so here we are, good to go. So let's take another look at the available commands now that we're logged in. And let's do a few things to just kind of understand what's possible. So if we look in the operate section, we can see we have the ability to create, edit, and delete resources like assets, systems, states, tags, files, etc. Let's take a quick look at what's available in the system subcommand. Here we have the ability to compare, get, we can list various systems. Let's take a quick look at what systems I have. I have 4 virtual systems listed here. And if I want to get more detailed information, I can pass the ID and get more detailed information. Or if I wanted to remove a particular system, this virtual system was used for a demo earlier, maybe I want to get rid of it now, I can remove it and will be prompted to confirm. And now the system is removed. And the other CLI commands use the same pattern. So explore and create an issue in the GitHub repository for any feature requests or bugs.